Down there, life continues. The traffic is awful, stocks go on trading, and Star Trek is still showing.
Good day, grade 8 learners. Welcome to today's Natural Sciences lesson. My name is Papa Singo, and this lesson is proudly brought to you by the Harding Department of Education. In today's lesson, we are going to be learning under the knowledge area Planet Earth and beyond. We are also going to be learning under the topic beyond the solar system, and the subtopic, which is our area of focus today, is the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy. Now let's move on to the lesson objectives. So these are the goals that we aim to achieve by the end of today. So that by the end of today's lesson, you should be able to name the galaxy our solar system is in, describe how the stars are held together by their mutual gravity in a galaxy, and explain what stars are in terms of the Milky Way galaxy and the sun's place within it. All this is found on your CAPS document on page 54. Now let's move on to pre-knowledge. So this is what we learned prior to today's lesson. So we learned in grade 4 that we learned about materials around us, we learned about the planet Earth, we learned about the sun, the earth, and the sun, and the moon. So these are the topics that we covered when we were in grade 4. And then in the 6th grade, we learned about the solar system, systems for looking into space, and we learned about systems to explore the moon and Mars. So these topics have prepared us for today's lesson. Now let's move on to the baseline activity. So I'm going to read out the questions and then give you time to answer the questions. Then afterwards, we are going to do the solutions together. Okay, so the first question reads, what object is closer to the Earth? Is it the sun or the moon? And then which are the closest planets to Earth? And then name the 8 planets in our solar system. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes to answer these questions. Then after 4 minutes, we're going to do the solutions together. Don't forget to send in your responses to the WhatsApp number at the bottom of the screen. I'll read it out for you. It's 079-578-2908. So I'm going to see you after 4 minutes. Welcome back, learners. I'm sure you had more than enough time to answer the questions. So now let's do the solutions together. The first question read, which object is closer to the earth, the sun or the moon? The sun or the moon. So the object that is closer to the earth is the moon. If you remember from last week's lesson, when we were learning about the rotations and the revolutions of the earth around the sun and the moon around the earth, we also saw how the planets are arranged. So the moon is closer to the earth than to the sun. And then number 2, which are the closest planets to the earth? Do you remember from last week? The planets that are closest to the earth are Venus and Mars. So those two are the closest ones to the earth. And then question number 3 read, name the 8 planets in our solar system. Do you remember them? The 8 planets in our solar system. They are, of course, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And if you notice, I've written them in the order that they come in when they are coming from the sun. So from the sun, the planet that is closest to the sun is Mercury, followed by Venus, Earth being the third planet from the sun, and then we have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. I'm going to give you 1 minute to copy down the corrections. Welcome back, grade 8. I'm sure you're done copying down the corrections. Now let's move on to terminology. These are the important terms that we are going to come across during the lesson. So let's look at the first term, galaxy. The first term is galaxy. A galaxy is a collection of billions of stars, space dust, and gas held together by gravity. So that is a galaxy. The second term is astronomer. Astronomer, as an astronomer, is a scientist who studies stars, planets, and other objects in space. An example of an astronomer was Galileo. He was an astronomer who invented the telescope. And then a light year. What is a light year? A light year is a unit of length used to measure the distance between light objects. It is the distance that light travels in a vacuum in 1 year. And then what is a star? A star, as we learned from last week, is a massive ball of burning gas. It is a massive ball of burning gas. Now let's move on to the second slide for our terminology. Then another term is constellation. Constellation, this is a group of stars that when viewed from Earth form a pattern in the sky. The ones that are famous are Orion, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Taurus, and Gemini. So those are the famous ones. Those are the famous ones. I'm sure you've heard of 1 or 2 of them. And then Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is the name of the closest easily visible star after the sun. And then universe. What is universe? This is the entire body of all matter and energy that exists in space. So when we talk of the universe, we're counting each and every body of all matter and energy that exists in space. So that is the universe. Okay, so today's topic is the Milky Way galaxy. So let's get started with our lesson. Let's talk about the Milky Way galaxy. So astronomers classify galaxies according to their shapes. Remember, from our terminology, we learned that what an astronomer is. Okay, so they classify galaxies according to their shapes, which means galaxies have different shapes. So the shapes can be spiral, elliptical, or irregular. So they come in different shapes. The Milky Way is a galaxy with arms of stars trailing around a central concentration. So this results in a spiral shape. So the spiral shape is due to the different speed at which the stars close to the center and those further outwards rotate. So that is what causes the spiral shape of the Milky Way galaxy. So the center of the Milky Way galaxy looks like a black hole. It looks like a black hole. So the galaxy is a massive collection of stars, dust, and gas held together. So all of them, they're held together by gravity. All the stars, the dust, and the gas, all is held together in space by gravity. And galaxies, they range in size. They're different. Remember, we've already learned that galaxies have different shapes. Some are spiral, some are elliptical, and some are irregular. They also differ in their size, so they range in sizes, with the smallest galaxy consisting of about 10 million stars and the largest galaxy having 100 trillion stars. So not only are they different in shape, they are also different in size. So now we know two differences. So there are about 200 billion stars in the Milky Way, and the sun is one of them. Remember, last week we learned that the sun is it's a medium-sized star that is made up of burning gases. So the sun is one of the stars that are found in the Milky Way galaxy. The universe. So now we are talking collectively. The universe consists of millions of galaxies, of which the Milky Way is one of them. So the Milky Way is found in the universe, and the universe has other galaxies. And remember, we said galaxies are different in size and they're also different in shape. So within each galaxy, there are many solar systems. I'm sure this term solar system is quite familiar to you because we learned about it in our lesson last week. We learned about the solar system and that the sun is our source of light and energy in our solar system. So I've got a picture here just to show you the shape of the Milky Way galaxy, the spiral shape of the Milky Way galaxy. So that picture there shows us the shape of the Milky Way galaxy according to the astronomers. So our solar system is in the Milky Way galaxy. So this is where you find our sun and the 8 planets of our solar system. Do you remember them? Do you remember the 8 planets of our solar system? We have got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So those are the planets that are found in our solar system. So our solar system is also found in the Milky Way galaxy. So our solar system is located about 25,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way. Remember, in our previous slide, we talked about how the center of the Milky Way is a black hole and other solar systems are found in it. So our solar system has a position. It has a position in the Milky Way, and that position is 25,000 light years away from the center, from the middle of the Milky Way. Our galaxy is called the Milky Way because it looks like spilled milk, and most of the stars of the Milky Way are not visible from the Earth. So which means beyond our solar system, there are other stars, stars that are not visible to us from Earth because they are so far, far away from us. They are so far, far away, but them being far, far away does not mean that they do not exist. So astronomers have determined that our galaxy has a spiral shape. So they've determined that this picture over here, this one that I'm showing you, this is the shape of our Milky Way galaxy. This is the shape of our galaxy. It looks like spilled milk, so that's why it's called the Milky Way. The spiral shape. This is the shape of our galaxy. That is the shape of our galaxy. Now let's talk more. So now we're talking about the shape of our galaxy. So scientists think that there are 5 major spiral arms in our galaxy. The major ones, the big ones. So they think that there are 5. And these are the Norma arm, the Skirtum crux arm, the Sagittarius arm, the Perseus arm, and the Cygnus arm. So these are the 5 major arms that are thought to belong to our galaxy, which is the Milky Way galaxy. Our sun, the one that's shining outside right now, our sun is located in a small spiral arm called the Orion, or the local arm, which lies between the Sagittarius arm and the Perseus arm. Notice I first mentioned the major arms, the statement arms, the bigger arms. Now, our sun is located or is thought to be located in the Orion arm. This Orion arm lies between the Sagittarius arm and the Perseus arm, which are major arms of the Milky Way. So there we go. So we have the center. I'm going to show you this picture. So this is the center of our Milky Way galaxy. And these are the different spiral arms. These are the different spiral arms. So our Orion arm, or the local arm, is this one. And this is our sun. So our solar system is thought to be found between the Perseus arm and the Sagittarius arm. And this distance from here to there is 25,000 light years. It is 25,000 light years. So that is our position in the Milky Way. This is the position of our solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. We are found on the Orion arm. The Orion arm is found between the Sagittarius arm and the Perseus arm. So that is our location, and our sun is 25,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So the sun, therefore our solar system, the sun and our solar system is in one of the spiral arms, the Orion arm, and this is towards the edge. It's towards the edge of the Milky Way. So because we're towards the edge of the galaxy, we see the Milky Way from the side. Because we're at the edge, remember the picture that I showed you in the previous slide? Because we're at the edge, we see the Milky Way from the side because we are on the edge. So this is us. This is our sun, and this is our solar system. This is us. So as you can see here, we're at the edge of the Milky Way. We're not here near the middle. We're not there, we're not here. So because we're here, at the edge between the Perseus and the Sagittarius arm, because we're there at the edge, we tend to see the Milky Way from the side. So when our astronomers are looking up in space, or different kinds of people are looking up in space, we tend to see it from the arm, from the side, because of our position. Because of our position. Now let's talk about light years. We define light years in our terminology. Now let's learn more about light years. So light years are units of length. We've said they're units of length. We even use 25,000 light years as an example. We said we are 25,000 light years from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So the light years are a unit of measure used to measure the distance between light objects. So it is the distance that light travels in a vacuum in 1 year. In a vacuum in 1 year. Okay, remember when we were learning in our third term, we learned that light travels very fast in a vacuum. It travels very quickly in a vacuum. So when we're measuring light years, we're measuring the distance that is traveled by the light in a space of 1 year. In a space of 1 year. Okay, so light can travel about 7 times around the earth in 1 second. That's a very, very short time. It can travel around the earth in 1 second about 7 times. So 1 light year, if we calculate 1 light year, it becomes approximately 5.880 trillion times, or 9.5 trillion kilometers. So it's either 5.880 trillion miles or 9.5 trillion kilometers. And the Milky Way is 100,000 light years across. What do I mean by 100,000 light years across? I'm going to pull up a diagram. There it is, just to show you what I mean. So this is the distance. It's a measure of distance. Remember, light years are a unit of length used to measure distance. So if we measure across in this way, the Milky Way is 100,000 light years across. If we measure it across, the Milky Way is 100,000 light years, okay, across. And 1 year, or 1 light year, 1 light year is 9.5 trillion kilometers. So if the Milky Way is 100,000 light years across, can you imagine how big it is? Can you imagine? It is huge. It is very big. So let's talk more on light years. So Sirius, which is the morning star, is in the constellation Canis Major. Is the biggest sky, it is the biggest star in the sky, and it is easy to find in winter or spring mornings. So on winter and spring mornings, the morning star is easy to find. You can easily see it. So when you are looking at the morning star, whether it's in the evenings or it's early in the morning, you are actually looking back in time to see how Sirius looked 8 years ago. And the light would have already left the stars 8 years ago. So the speed of light is so fast that when you look at the morning star, it's not what it looks like currently. It is what it looked like 8 years ago. So that's how fast the speed of light is. So there is the morning star. So when you look at it tomorrow morning or this evening, you're actually seeing its image 8 years ago, and it is well past that. The light has left it 8 years ago. So that's how fast, or that's how fast the speed of light is. So light is actually, light energy actually has the fastest speed. It has the fastest speed from all different kinds of energy, So now let's move on to activity 1. The first question reads, what is the fastest speed we know? And then the second question is, how many seconds are in a year? So I'm going to give you 4 minutes to do these questions. And then after 4 minutes, we will do the solutions together. Do not forget to send in your solutions to 079 578 2908. When you do, just write down the name of your school so that we can acknowledge it. Okay, so see you after 4 minutes. Welcome back, Liz. I'm sure you've been busy. And now let's do the solution. So, what is the fastest speed we know? Which one is it? The fastest speed we know is the speed of light. And how many seconds are in a year? How many seconds are in a year? So, there's this two-step way in which you can do this solution. So, we need to calculate how much time we have in a year. So, we have 365 days in a year, 365.25 days in a year. So that's 365 and a quarter days in 1 year. And then in those years are made of days, and each day has 24 hours in it. So it is 24 hours long. And then that day is made of hours, and each hour is 60 minutes long. Each hour is 60 minutes long. And then those minutes are also 60 seconds long. So how do we calculate how many seconds we have in a year? So we need to calculate first the minutes by the second. So we say 60 seconds, you can use your calculator here, 60 seconds multiplied by 60 minutes. That is going to give you this value. You're going to get a value which is 3,600 seconds. So 60 minutes is 3,600 seconds. So that is how an hour is. That's how long an hour is. And then now we need to find out. We need to find out how many seconds are in 24 hours. We need to find how many seconds are in 24 hours. So we multiply 3,600 seconds by 24. We multiply, we say 3,600 multiplied by 24. So we need to know how many seconds there are in a day. So so we get to a number, use your calculator there, which is 86,400. So now we know that a day has 86,400 seconds in it. So now we need to multiply how many seconds we have in a year. A year is 365 and a quarter days. So you multiply this value by 365 and a quarter. And then you will come up with this grand value, which is 31,557,600 seconds. So that's how many seconds we have in a year. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to copy down these corrections. Then after 2 minutes, we'll move on with our lesson. Welcome back, grade 8. I'm sure you've copied down the corrections, including the table. So now let's move on to features of the Milky Way galaxy. I'm going to pull up a picture here just to show you what we've learned so far. So we've learned that our galaxy is called the Milky Way galaxy. That is the name of our galaxy. And our solar system is found on the Orion arm. It's found on the Orion arm. There is our sun there. So there is our sun. That's where our solar system is found. And the Orion arm is in between two major arms. And these two major arms are the Sagittarius arm and the Perseus arm. And then scientists, or rather astronomers, believe that our Milky Way galaxy is made up of 5 major arms. So it doesn't mean that there's no smaller arms, but the 5 major arms are the Scutum Centaurus, over here, and then there's the Noma arm, there's the Sagittarius arm, there's the Perseus arm, and we've got this outer arm over here. So these are the 5 arms that make up the five major arms that make up our Milky Way galaxy. We also learned that our galaxy is found in the universe, so meaning that there are other galaxies, and galaxies are different in terms of size and in terms of shape. So some come in a spiral shape like ours, that is in a spiral shape, which resembles spilt milk. Some come in irregular shapes or some in elliptical shapes. And then some can range from having 25 million stars to over 100 billion stars. So galaxies are different in the number of stars they have, so which means they're different in size and they're different in shape. And then our solar system is found in the Milky Way galaxy, which has a spiral shape and consists of 5 major arms. And then our solar system is particularly found on the local arm or on the Orion arm. So that is what we've learned before the activity. So let's learn more about the Milky Way galaxy. So all the stars in this galaxy revolve around the center of gravity, just as the Earth travels around the sun. So the entire solar system, so our solar system, is traveling around the Milky Way galaxy. So it's traveling around the Milky Way galaxy. And on a clear night, the hazy band of light, which is the combined glow of millions of stars, can be clearly seen in the night sky. We can see it in the night sky clearly. So the ancient Greeks thought that it looked like spilled milk across the sky, and they were actually referring to the band of light, which is a glowing millions of stars. So the ancient Greeks thought it resembled spilled milk. Okay, so here is something interesting. So we said that on a clear night, we can see the hazy band, which is the combined glow of the million stars and can be seen clearly in the night stars. So clusters of stars can actually be seen in Sutherland. And where is Sutherland? It's right here in South Africa in the Northern Cape province. So there is a picture of a cluster of stars that can be seen in our country in Sutherland. So there is the one interesting fact about the Milky Way galaxy and how we can see it right here. Okay, so now let's move on to another activity, which is activity 2. So I'm going to give you the questions. So each major arm, so there are 4 arms. So each major arm of the Milky Way, name all 4 arms. And then what force keeps the arms of the Milky Way spinning around its center? And how far across is the Milky Way galaxy? And why do other stars appear so much smaller than the sun? Why do other stars appear so much smaller than the sun. So to do this activity, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do the activity. Don't forget to send in your responses to 079 578 2908. 2908. Don't forget to send in your responses. So see you after 5 minutes. Welcome back, grade 8. So I'm sure you had enough time. So now let's answer the questions. So the first one was name all four arms of our galaxy. So the first one is Scutum, Centaurus, Sagittarius, and Perseus, and outer arms. Those are the arms of our galaxy. And then what force keeps the arms of the Milky Way spinning around its center? So which force keeps the arms of the Milky Way spinning around its center? It is gravity. Gravity keeps them there. And the third question is, how far is it across the Milky Way galaxy? How far is it? It is 100,000 light years across. So it is 100,000 light years across. And then question four, why do other stars appear so much smaller than the sun? Why do they appear so much smaller than the sun? They do so because they are so far away. Remember, our solar system, or rather the sun, is a medium-sized star which is about 25,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And there are other stars in the galaxy. So we cannot see the other stars that are not in our view because they are so far away. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to copy down the corrections. Then after 2 minutes, we will move on with our lesson. Welcome back, grade 8. I'm sure you've had enough time to copy down the corrections. So now let's talk more on the Milky Way. So the Milky Way was previously believed to be spiral, consisting of 4 arms. However, infrared images from NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, scientists have discovered that the Milky Way structure is dominated by just 2 arms. It is dominated by just 2 arms. So our solar system has been officially located by NASA as being near a partial arm of the Milky Arm called the Orion Arm, as we have previously said. So this is where our solar system is located. So now let's move on to activity number 3. The first question is, what is the name of our galaxy? The second question is define constellation. And the third question is name the star that is closest to the Earth. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to answer these questions. Then after 4 minutes, we will do the solutions together. Don't forget to send in your solutions to the number at the bottom of the screen and include the name of your school. Until then, see you after 4 minutes. Welcome back, grade 8. Now let's do the solutions together. The first question was, what is the name of our galaxy? The galaxy is called Milky Way galaxy. That is the name of our galaxy. And then define constellation. Define constellation. It is quite a long mouthful definition. So a constellation is a group of stars that when viewed from Earth form a pattern in the sky. And then the ones that are famous are Orion, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Taurus, and Gemini, just to give you a few examples. So it is a group of stars that when viewed from Earth form a pattern in the sky. And the third question reads, name the star that is closest to the Earth other than the sun. Other than the sun, that's your Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to copy down these corrections, and then we will continue with our lesson after 2 minutes. Welcome back, grade 8. So now we've come to the end of our lesson. So we're going to summarize our lesson. What did we learn today? So today we learned that a galaxy is a collection of stars held together by strong gravitational forces. We also learned that our solar system is in the Milky Way galaxy. That's what we learned. And we learned that the Milky Way is a spiral-shaped galaxy resembling spilt milk, and it has big major arms. It has 5 big major arms. And then our sun is located in the Milky Way galaxy. That's where our sun is located. And our sun is 25,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across, which is quite a big distance. And there is a picture of our solar system and our sun, which is a very, very long distance away from the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. And our solar system is located on the local arm or on the Orion arm, which is at the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. So next I'm going to give you a homework activity for you to do after this lesson. I'm going to give you 1 minute to quickly copy down both questions. Then after that we will end our lesson. See you after a minute. Welcome back, grade 8. I'm sure you've had more than enough to copy down the homework questions. Okay, so in our next lesson, we're going to be learning about our nearest star. So that's food for thought for you. You can go and research the name of our nearest star because that is our next lesson. So don't forget to press on the complete and continue tab. Don't forget to click on that tab once you've reached the end of today's lesson. Thank you so much for joining me in today's lesson and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.